Okay, in this clip, I am going to show you a basic example of the calculation of this family of cost curves based on a given equation. So imagine that the question is, okay, this is the total cost function, which depends on Q, equals to 20 plus 3Q squared. And you are asked to calculate marginal cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, and average total cost when the production level is equal to 10. So how do you handle this type of question? Well, very simple. The first thing that you need to notice is the following. 20, which could be $20 or $20 million, it doesn't matter. Notice that doesn't depend on Q, so this is essentially your fixed cost FC. And here, you have that whatever amount is this depends on Q, which basically means that this is your variable cost. So if you add variable cost plus fixed cost, essentially you get total cost, right? So that's essentially what this total cost function means. So what you need to do, of course, is to calculate the average, not the totals, and of course the marginal. How do you do about that? Well, let's start with, let's say, this one. This is an easy one. Average fixed cost. Well, if you know that average fixed cost is equal to fixed cost divided by Q. Let me erase this because this is supposed to be a C, not a Q. Fixed cost divided by Q, and you know that fixed costs are equal to 20, and you know that Q is equal to 10, right? You know that the average fixed cost is equal to, let's say, $2. So that answers this. Average fixed cost is equal to $2. Now, average variable cost, which is right here. Well, same idea. Average variable cost is equal to variable cost divided by Q. And you know that variable cost is 3 times Q, but Q is equal to 10 squared divided by Q, because you want to calculate the average, which once again, this is supposed to be 10, right? So I'm just going to make the substitution. So essentially here you're going to have 3 times 100 divided by 10. This is equal to 300 divided by 10. This is going to give you that the average variable cost is equal to $30. And finally, the average total cost. Well, to calculate that, first you need to know what the total cost is. So total cost, which depends on Q, in this case 10, is equal to 20 plus 3 times 10 squared. This, of course, is going to give you $320. If you divide, in order to calculate average total cost, you need to divide total cost divided by Q, which is 320 divided by 10 is going to give you a total of 32. Now, so you already have average variable cost, you have average variable cost, and you have average total cost. The real challenge sometimes for some people is the calculation of marginal cost, because it requires some mathematical background. So let me draw a line here. For those of you with a mathematical background, you know that the marginal cost is essentially the slope of the total cost, or in other words, the derivative of the total cost with respect to Q, and this is going to essentially be 6Q. Now, I understand that for some of you with no knowledge of calculus, this doesn't make any sense. Don't worry, I'm just showing you this because this is the way it's supposed to be done. But in homework, exercises, exams, I am not going to ask you to do the calculations. I am just going to give you this, right? Straight. I'm going to give you the total cost and the marginal cost. So all you need to do is to substitute Q there. So therefore, you are going to have 6 times 10. This is going to be equal to 60. And therefore, that's the way you derive marginal cost equal to 60. So again, this is a basic simple exercise. meant to show you the basic calculations. Once again, don't worry about the computation of marginal cost. This is marginal cost. Because I will give you this equation, and of course for those of you that have a strong mathematical background, well, you can calculate yourselves and just make sure I'm doing my job right. All right, until next clip.